All right, but we are going to begin this hour with former President Donald Trump, who is already using his first mugshot to drive his fundraising. Trump surrendered in Georgia last night. He and 18 other co-defendants face charges related to the alleged attempt to overturn the 2020 election results in that state.
Nikole Killion is outside the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta. Nikole, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Overnight, 5 more defendants turned themselves in ahead of a noon deadline. That includes former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark. But it was the former president's surrender last night that had the whole world watching.
Former President Trump, now known as inmate PO 1135809, after being booked Thursday night at the Fulton County Jail, joining a growing number of the 19 co-defendants in the Georgia election interference case. His height was recorded at 6'3" with a weight of 215 pounds. The former president used a local bail bonds company to cover his $200,000 bond before flying back to New Jersey.
What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election.
The process took less than half an hour, with the former president being escorted in and out of jail, where supporters stood by their man.
He can be convicted and he can run this country from jail. I wouldn't care.
Right.
We'd still vote for
You'd
it.
be okay with
Absolutely.
That? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Trump was charged with 13 counts, including racketeering, criminal conspiracy, and making false statements for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election, stemming in part from this call with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was also on that 2021 call with Trump and Raffensperger.
Mr. President, everybody is on the line, and just so, this is Mark Meadows, the Chief of Staff.
He turned himself in Thursday as well, after his efforts to delay his surrender were rejected by a federal judge. The former president already trying to capitalize on the moment, selling merchandise on his campaign website. And for the first time since being banned in January 2021, he returned to X, formerly known as Twitter. He posted his booking photo writing, "I will never surrender our mission," and included a link for contributions.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
The former president and the rest of the defendants could be arraigned as soon as next month. District Attorney Fani Willis has also proposed a new trial date of October 23rd, although so far a judge has only granted that request to one defendant. Back to you.
Hey, Nikole, tell us more about this October 23rd trial date. I mean, they're campaigning. How could this affect Trump and the other co-defendants?
Yeah, well, right now, as I mentioned, only one defendant right now has that date scheduled, or a judge agreed to it, and that is Kenneth Chesebro, who was the one who requested this. You know, here in Georgia, defendants are entitled to a speedy trial, and so his attorneys pressed for that, saying that they wanted to move ahead. The district attorney responded by saying, okay, well, if you want a speedy trial, let's do it on October 23rd. But of course, she has made clear that she wants to try all of these defendants together. So because Chesebro is willing to do this, that's why you saw the judge yesterday go ahead and at least agree to the date for him. But for the rest of the defendants, that date is still up in question. The former president's legal team already put in a motion saying that it opposes the move and wants their case severed from Chesebro's.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges of having 19 co-defendants. They're all going to want different things, which is, you know, how this ends up dragging
on the same page.
Yeah. So in the meantime, Trump used a local bail bonds company to handle his $200,000 bond, which was kind of surprising to me because I just thought, luckily I've never had to post bond for anything, but I just figure if you have the money, you just pay it. And if you don't, then you go to a bail's bonds, I guess. Why did he do that? Do we know?
Yeah, well, we don't exactly know the rationale behind it, but we have seen other defendants take similar steps, including Rudy Giuliani, who just earlier this week did the same thing. I mean, we were right outside the bail bond place as he posted that bond with the help of a local company here. But look, all of these defendants have a variety of options, including the former president, which is to post the full bond, or to get a surety bond, which basically is like a loan that they take out that they have to pay back. or they can put up 10% of that bond. And again, those latter two are sometimes done in tandem with a bail bond company. And so that is exactly what we saw the former president do last night. We are told that this arrangement was done ahead of the former president's arrest, and it was handled remotely.
And Nikole, let me follow up here. I mean, you kind of touched on it when there's that many people involved, but what kind of challenges will Trump and his legal team face as he manages the other three cases? I mean, there's different courts who are trying to get a bite of the apple here. How do you juggle that?
I mean, I think it remains to be seen. Obviously, you know, here in Georgia, we have seen things really swing in terms of potential trial dates. You know, first, the district attorney came out and proposed March 4th, which is literally a day before Super Tuesday, which would certainly make things very complicated for the former president, who is a front runner right now in the Republican primary, you know, to have a trial sandwiched in the middle of the election. But yes, in terms of all these other cases he faces, you know, whether they move forward with that March 4th date or try to do things earlier in October, the former president and his legal team still have to navigate these other cases. We know, for instance, that the special counsel case related to his charges involving January 6th and his alleged efforts to overturn the election writ large, that trial is proposed right now for January 2nd, right at the start of the new year, about 2 weeks before the Iowa caucuses. You also have this case in Manhattan around alleged hush money payments. That is due to start in March of next year. And then, of course, you have this whole classified documents case, and that also is part of a special counsel investigation. That case right now, and that trial is set to start in May of next year. So there really is a lot to juggle. And of course, in between all of that, you have the various attorneys filing different motions. Former president has made clear he wants all of this to happen after the election, but right now it doesn't seem that that's possible based on some of the latest judicial rulings here.
All right, Nikole, a lot going on. Thank you.
You bet.